We're live. We're live again, and we're very bright as well. Let me do something with these lights. Any better? That's a little bit better. So, how's everyone doing? Last session was cut rudely short by the fact that I left my laptop charger at work. So we were fighting against the clock. It was very exciting, like a scene from James Bond, except nothing exploded. Today, I'm all plugged in, juiced up, dug in like an Alabama tick. So we're going to have another little session. What happened? So after my battery ran out, the last stream, I carried on without you, and I taped the front wheel rim, put the tyre on, pumped it up, and it was audibly losing air. So I took the tyre off and found that I had managed to rip a big hole in the tape with a tyre lever when I was putting the tyre back on. So I untaped it, cleaned the rim, retaped it, put the tyre back on, pumped it up, was still audibly losing air, took the tyre off again, and found out that one of my spoke heads had poked through the tape this time. So I took the tape off, and that was it, because I'd run out of tape. So I've got some more tape now. The last stuff was WTB. This is nuke proof, and this is slightly thinner. This is 35mm, so I'm going to have to do 2 rounds, but I think it might actually be easier. We shall see. Quite intrigued to see how it sticks against the stuff on the other wheel. Anyway, what I've done here is I've put this red strip back in to cover the spoke heads. I probably should have left it in. Anyway, I only removed it because somebody on a video I watched who was taping their rims removed theirs. But I don't know, different rims, different strokes for different folks. So anyway, I'm going to leave it in, and I'm going to tape over the top of it because the spoke heads are too short to easily file any shorter, but long enough that one of them poked through the rim tape. So that's the shape of things. Going to take this bad boy up. Yeah, so I've cleaned it all off. Let's have a little go, shall we? This tape looks cooler. It's a much nicer colour. It's branded, nuke-proof logo and all that. It feels slightly different texture as well. Right. So let's see what's happening here. I don't know how sticky rim tape is supposed to be, but that last lot wasn't sticky at all. This does seem a little stickier, but still it's not exactly, it's not what I'd call sticky. Still, it definitely goes on more snugly than the last lot. And I wonder, it seems in my head like it should be easier to do it when it's narrow, but maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, I think this is going on easier. There's a lot less bubbles, and it's looking a lot neater. Oh, we've got comments. I can see comments, but I can't read them because it's too far away, and my old eyes can't do it. Let me get this on, and I will come and see who's watching and say hello. I should say, it's awesome that anyone watches this stuff. I don't really understand why, but it's very nice. It's nice to sit here just kind of blathering away with people watching. Almost makes me believe what it must be like to have a real friend. I've got some friends. And it's interesting, actually. So I don't really put a lot of effort into this channel in general. I mean, I enjoy making the videos, and I wish I could do it more, but I don't sort of I don't have a media plan or anything, but it goes up all the time. I've got over 600 subscribers, which is actually not bad, really, considering that it's pretty much an unplanned project. And I appreciate that it might not be that the reason people subscribe might not be to just stay in on a Friday night and watch me taping rims. It's more likely to be for, I guess, the gear reviews seem to get the most views and see the longest life. But it's very gratifying that people enjoy my videos and subscribe and tune in and what have you. And I absolutely promise that once this bike is built, I'm not going to get into the habit of just doing weird live streams of me talking to myself. I am actually going to get some more rides in soon, hopefully, and hopefully some more gear reviews as well. There's a few bits and pieces that I want to get to try out, some various little camping-y, bike-packy type things. So hopefully that will come along soon, and also hopefully the weather will start getting a bit better. It's not bad at the moment. It's been a very worryingly mild winter, but it has been quite grey and quite wet. And around where I live, a lot of the riding is bridleways, and because the bridleways, as the name implies, get ridden on by horses, and horses turn wet bridleways into absolute quagmire, I think is the word one would look for. Famously, a very good word to get in boggle, as highlighted by the Beastie Boys, I believe. Of a few Beastie Boys lyrics I know. And the king of boggle, instant hire, I get 11 points for the word quagmire. I think that was the Beastie Boys. Maybe I dreamed it. Who knows? All right, that's one round. This is looking infinitely neater than my last attempt. So I don't know what the clever technique is for crossing over to the other side. I'm just gonna blast it in there like an absolute beast. Oh, see, this is actually so much neater that I'm almost tempted to redo the other one, but we shall see. We shall see if the tyre goes on and beds and does all that popping and other nonsense. Well, I'm feeling quite positive about this. And if this works out, I guess, I don't know what's next up actually. I suppose got to get the back wheel all mounted up, get the axle plate on the roll-off lined up and the bracing bolt and things. And this is great. This is how I imagined it would be, taping a rim, because obviously it's something I've imagined regularly. Oh, what it must be like to tape a rim on Christmas Day in the morning. It's not Christmas. I don't know why I said that. Why did I? Must have sounded like a song. Last time I had Christmas songs in my head as well. Bloody Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues. I've had that in my head pretty much ever since Christmas. It just pops in there. It's a catchy one. It is a catchy one. What's everyone up to then? Anyone got any wild and crazy plans for the weekend? Is anyone going out biking? Is anyone going out biking? That's the thing. This could be an interesting topic of discussion. I'm semi hoping that I'll get this bad boy finished. Maybe not tonight, but I'm going to have another session tomorrow if I don't. Great to get a sample run in on this. Oh, yeah, have I gone far? Yep, gone far enough. But yeah, we should have to see. So, anyone got any rides planned for tomorrow? Or are we all out partying like absolute rock stars tonight and planning to be hungover in the morning? So, just give that a little nuzzle. Get that in there. Right. Who have we got? 6 people. Look at that. Yeah, Victor. How's it going? Alabama tick. Now, where's that from? Dug in like an Alabama tick. That's from a movie. And I think... Is it Predator? I think it's Predator. I think it's what he says. It's one of those sort of films. I think it is an Arnie film. But I don't think it's Arnie. I think it's what's the dude with the minigun in Predator? He's yeah, the big cowboy dude who chews tobacco. The stuff will turn you into a goddamn sexual tyrannosaur. He gets all the good lines. I'm fairly sure he describes somebody as being dug in like an Alabama tick. Look at that. That's not bad. That's quite neat. So here we go. HOH Bucket. Hi. Yes, narrower. Brilliant. Finn McCool. Hey. Yes. Finally, you caught me live. Here I am, said the actress to the bishop, which is fast becoming the catchphrase of this live streaming event. So, was there something wrong with your old bike? No, there's nothing wrong with my old bike. I still have my old bike. My old bike, I think I mentioned this in the last one. My old bike is a Cannondale F4 Caffeine that I got on the Ride to Work scheme with a company I worked at. I think I probably got it in 2007, 2008, maybe. And it's great. I've done thousands of miles on it. I cycled to Scotland on it twice. I cycled back from Scotland. I've done south coast of France. I've done Sweden a couple of times, Norway, Germany, Netherlands. Yeah, loads of little weekenders and just day rides and stuff in England. It's done me very well, and it's still fine. It's a good bike. I like it. But I found on my ride over the summer that I just want to be off road. I don't hate riding on roads, but I don't enjoy it, and especially in England, it's just no fun at all. And so I wanted something that is better off road than on road. So when you do find yourself, well, when I find myself picking my way through the forest and stuff, I can feel like I'm served. And also I wanted something simple. So my old bike it's got suspension on the front, which I barely ever use. You know, I'm not doing gnarly rocky downhill stuff. I just want to be off on bridleways and gravel roads and in the forest, you know, mud, logs, twigs, leaves, sand, that kind of stuff. I think suspension is massively overrated amongst cyclists. If you're doing trail riding or you're into downhill or something, then it's really useful. But for just riding, I just think it's a pain. So I locked my front suspension off for my big ride in the summer just to see what it was like, and I didn't really miss it, to be honest. So I thought I'd get rid of the suspension, get bigger wheels, fatter tires. Then I had derailleur failure in Sweden. The bearings exploded out of my jockey wheel, you know, and it was fine. I thought it was worse than it was, but I fixed it. It was all good. But it's just derailleurs just are so finicky and they're always complaining. I've never really enjoyed them as a thing. You know, they're clever on that, but they're always squeaking and grinding and getting out of whack, and you have to index them all the time, and they're full of mud and twigs, and so I just thought I want to go simple as I can. So no suspension, no derailleur. You know, I'd heard people talking about roll-offs, and so I thought, do you know what? While I'm young and wild and crazy and I've got a bit of money in the bank, you know, what else am I going to spend it on apart from, well, you know, all the things people spend money on? But I just thought, you know, I'll treat myself. I don't have a car, I don't do drugs, I hardly drink. This is what I like to do. You know, I love to be out on my bike, and I love to go touring, and I love to be out in the outside world. So I thought I'd buy the bike for that job, and hopefully, you know, if all goes well, this bike will last me. I mean, the last one lasted me 10 years plus, and I didn't even plan it. I just bought the one that looked cool. I didn't know anything about bikes when I bought it. So hopefully this is a bike that will be with me for a long old time, you know, maybe forever. If what people say about the roll-offs is true, that's a roll-off is for life, not just for Christmas. So, you know, I figured spend some money, get something that's going to do the job, and hopefully don't have to do this again for a while. Saying that, of course, I have no idea if it is going to do the job. I've never ridden a Surly. I've never ridden big wheels, fat tyres. I've never ridden a roll-off. I've never ridden tubeless tyres. I've never ridden mechanical disc brakes. You know, this is all new to me. I've never put a bike together from scratch. You know, I've like put new shifters on my old bike and changed out the drivetrain and stuff. But this is all exciting and crazy for me. So it's kind of good fun. It's kind of frustrating, but it's kind of good fun. But I am very hopeful that I might get a ride on it either this weekend or next. So Wide tire. Yeah, I think wide tires is what I'm after. So these are 3 inches. Here's my back wheel. Which, see, this is how good my rim taping is. This doesn't have sealant in it, and it's been pumped up since. Yeah, it's lost a bit, but I'm assuming that the tires lose a little bit of air just through the walls if they've not got sealant in them. I could be wrong. Maybe it's not bedded properly, but I'm not going to attempt to put sealant in them indoors. That, from what I've seen online, is an outdoor job. So that's not going to happen for your viewing pleasure, I'm afraid. So what we got? Santos Travel Master 2.8 with roll. Oh, a belt drive. Yeah, I met a chap when I was in, where was I? I was in Denmark, and I was staying at sleeping in one of these little camping shelters. They have these. If you might have seen my videos about them, but in Denmark they have these awesome, sort of a massive network of these shelters that you can just camp in for free. And they're great, like 3 walls and a roof, that you can just rock up at and sleep in. And I was in one of those, and a chap turned up. He was Swiss. He was a retired, what did he say? He did something weird to do with insuring. He was an insurance broker for big corporations against natural disasters, I'm going to say, or something like that. It was something vaguely interesting that had obviously made him quite a lot of money. And he'd sort of semi-retired, and he'd bought this bike, and he'd cycled from Switzerland to Denmark and was doing the North Sea cycle route. And we spent the night at this little camp spot, and he had, I can't remember what the make of the bike was, but it was belt drive, and it had the gearing was all in the bottom bracket shell, some like all built into the frame. Crazy piece of kit. Right, so where's me rotation? Yes. So that goes on there like that. That goes there like that. Let's get this tire on, shall we? Belt drives are power. See, I've heard some people swear by belt drives. I've always, my main argument against them would be because of what I was saying earlier about simplicity. I kind of assume that if something goes wrong with a belt drive and you're out on a ride, it's going to be harder. Like if you're in another country and you're touring, it's going to be harder to fix. I don't know. I'd be intrigued to try it, because you sort of think, like, lots of motorbikes use belt drives, don't they? You see lots of that, so there must be something to it. But I do tend towards the tried and tested approach to things, just because, well, I say I like to be able to fix things myself, but as you're probably learning, I'm not exactly the most engineeringly minded person, but it's nice to think you might even be able to have a try. Where is everybody? Who have we got? We've got 5 people watching. Whereabouts in the world are all you folk? It's weird. It's funny, this streaming thing, because I sit here chatting and these little comments pop up, and it's like, I know it's real people talking, but it's also kind of abstract and a bit strange to think that there are people who could be all over the world watching me fix my bike. You could just carry a spare belt. Yeah, spare belt. HRH Bucket is in Reading. Wow. That's they're faultless and very silent. I love it. Well, this is the thing. I mean, this is the other thing which I've found whilst I've been looking into like choosing the bits and pieces for this bike, is people get very bought into their particular thing. Some people absolutely swear by belt drives. Some people swear by, I don't know, tubeless or tubed. Some people swear, oh, I've got to have electronic shifters, or some people say, oh, I've got to have, I don't know. It's just people get very passionate about it. It's funny. I love cycling. I love being out on the road, but I'm not really into bikes, if that makes any sense. Like I love bikes for what they can do for me, but I don't read the magazines and sort of constantly revise all the new kit that's coming out. You know, I love where they take me. And, you know, they're beautiful things. They're amazing pieces of engineering and all that. But, this tyre is snug. Snug as a bug in a rug. Where's my other tyre lever? Here's my other tyre lever. New Jersey, USA. It sucks here. Why does it suck in the... I've never been to the USA, so I can't comment on that. Victor Guthrie. Near Budapest. Now that's interesting. I just started following the Bikepack Hungary people on Instagram. I have a friend who lives in Budapest. I've visited there a couple of times, and I've always quite fancied start riding the Danube. I met a chap who did it and said it was a nice ride, and I always quite like the idea of get the ferry to Rotterdam, and from there you can pick up the river. I can't remember what they call it, but it becomes the Rhine, and then goes south down into Germany, and then you can just nip over some hills and pick up the Danube and follow it all the way. I think that would be a great ride. There's so much of Europe that I haven't explored. It frustrates me because I would love to I'd love to go and do some more of France. I did Nice to Marseille with my friend who now lives in Budapest, in fact. But that was a good few years ago, and I've not been back to France since then. So that's on my list. I'd really like to do Portugal as well. That would be good fun, I think. Cycle down the coast to the tip, eat lots of amazing seafood and sleep on beaches. I think that would be lovely. And there we have it. This is why it sucks in New Jersey. They take all of your money, give you very little in turn. New Jersey is the highest exodus rate of all our states. Wow. I don't know anything about New Jersey, really, other than Bon Jovi named an album after it. I was, and to some extent still am, quite a Bon Jovi fan. When I was a teenager, I was all about the hair metal. I don't know how cool it is to say that these days, but you know, I'm not gonna pretend it wasn't true. Bon Jovi, Skid Row, Motley Crue. I actually still occasionally listen to Guns N' Roses, but yeah. And yes, of course, they did famously do an album called New Jersey. Oh, come on. Oh, I can't get the little... There we go. Got me valve core tool out. I'm actually a friend of Bon Jovi's producer. I'm not enough of a fan to know who his producer is. But that's pretty cool. Current producer or historic producer? Maybe the same producer. Wow. Yeah, I was a huge Bon Jovi fan back in the day. In fact, Bon Jovi was the first gig I ever went to, the first live gig. I went to see Bon Jovi. I think it was probably on the New Jersey tour, in fact. I went to see them at the Hammersmith Odeon in London when I was about 12 or something. A friend of mine's dad knew someone who did something for the booking company who booked the tickets or something. So me and my friend got free tickets. We went to see Bon Jovi. And it was pretty awesome. I don't really remember it, to be honest, which is kind of annoying. I wish I'd paid more attention, but I feel like that about a lot of gigs. I saw Nirvana play at Reading Festival in '92, which I think was the last time they ever played live in England. And it's kind of one of those iconic gigs that people talk about now. I think I was 14, 13, something like that. And I'd only just got into Nirvana. So I didn't really pay attention. Not enough. You know, that's a gig I would go back in time and watch again. Right, let's do the old pumpy, nicey. So what are we saying? Okay, so we've got a recommendation for the Eurovelo down the Danube. It's definitely on my list. Definitely on my list. No one knows his producer, but the dude is also a magician and a gunsmith who used to build water slides in the Orient as well as Hollywood sets in Hollywood. This sounds like an interesting kind of dude. Yeah. So actually, as we've got someone from Hungary on the feed here, have you ever done Le Jog? I haven't done that one. I am quite taken by the Great North Trail, which is about half of that. That looks like it would be quite nice up into the Highlands, but one day maybe. Okay, that sounded fairly good. We're not losing any air. That's a good thing. Yeah, as we've got someone from Hungary, what's the if you're still there, that is. What's the kind of off-road cycling potential like in Hungary? And can you wild camp in Hungary? I'm always intrigued by which countries you can wild camp in. Because when I've been in Sweden and Norway, you can camp wherever you want. It's great, anywhere you like. Denmark, you can't, but they have these camping spots all over the place, so it's okay. Germany, I've wild camped in. You're not officially allowed to, but I've never had any problems. Similarly, in England, I have wild camped without anyone kind of bothering me. I know Scotland, you can camp anywhere. It intrigues me, this. It's supposed to go pop, right? It's supposed to go pop, pop, pop. Okay, let's do some mega pumping. Come on, get in there. Oh, that sounded like a little pop. Making funny little noises. It's not popping though, but it's also holding its pressure. So maybe that's. Do tubeless tyres always pop when they seat? That's the question that we need answered today. A sculptor building Hollywood sets here in Budapest. Wow, it's just like a cavalcade of celebrity awesomeness tonight. We've got Bon Jovi's producer's mate and a sculptor building Hollywood sets in Budapest. I know they do quite a lot of filming in Budapest, don't they? I remember I spent a bit of time in Prague and they do a lot of it there as well. I suppose there's lots of lovely old buildings in both of them. Well, they haven't really popped. They've sort of clacked and clicked. I'm going to let them down and see whether. Well, hey. Let's see if this comes away from the rims or not. Well, it's definitely in there. It's yeah, I think that's. Oh no, it's not. We've not got full seal. We have not got full seal action. Okay. Onwards and onwards, and ever onwards. Come on. See, I think I'd enjoy building bikes more if there wasn't just so many questions. Because I've never done it before, so I have no idea what it's supposed to like. Is it supposed to pop? Does it? Still no pop. Still no pop. Okay. Oh wow, look at this. The guy has a photo of his mum and Einstein. She was the secretary. Wow. That's pretty cool. God, other people's lives. Crazy. Tubeless tires don't have to pop as long as they seal. That's what I'm after. And it's a Presta, the thin one. I've taken the core out, so it's going in proper nice. Let's do some pumping. It's like one of those weird channels that you hear about, isn't it? No, there's a live stream you can go on. It's just some British dude pumping. Oh, that was a pop. That was a definite pop. See, I can hear it hissing though. Is that coming out of the rim? That's interesting. When I say interesting, I mean deeply annoying. That's coming out through the rim. What? That's weird. Is there a hole in my rim? Or is that that must be coming out through a spoke hole. I wonder if that's just a tiny... So that's all. Well, that's all sealed. But that was definitely coming out, I'm assuming, coming out through a... Coming out through a spoke hole and going underneath one of these stickers. But now I look at it, don't know how that would work. Well, there wouldn't be a hole in the rim, would there? Must be coming out through a spoke hole, which means it's going out through the tape, which means there's a hole in my tape, or it's just seeping through a little join, in which case it would be sealed by the sealant. Do I want to put sealant in there and risk it, or do I want to take the tire off and check the tape? These are the questions. The other one was so easy, it just went first time. So what's happening here? Tube stars don't have to pop. You will know if it's sealed after a bit of time. You often have to put more air than the tire is rated for to see the beads keep pumping. Okay. Yes, I did leave the rubber rim strip on. I should have done that before. That was, yes, that was the reason I had to retape it today, because it punctured the tape the first time round last time I finished. So yes, I left the rubber tape on. Bit of soap and water to help locate the air leak. Yeah, I think I might have to. Well, I mean, the thing is, I could feel it. I could feel it coming out through the rim, but of course now I've lost it because. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pump it up again, find it with my finger, mark it, let it down, and then we'll see where we go from there. Oh, it's also exciting. Is it not? So what's okay, camping in Hungary. I think you can get away with wild camping here. Just head into the woods and you can get away with it. No probs. Don't tolerate it near the big cities. Yeah, I think it's sort of, that's kind of the general rule, isn't it, for wild camping. Just don't be a knobhead. Keep yourself to yourself. Don't make any mess. All the usual kind of stuff, really. Can't hear anything yet, but that's only up to about 10. About 20. Can't hear anything. Maybe I fixed it. It's always nice. Turn it off and on again, sort of thing. All silent. Oh, no, there we go. Right, where's that coming out? Interesting. So it's coming out. Apparently, it's nowhere near a spoke hole. Weird. Okay, I'm going to mark that. That is intriguing. There's a sticker on the rim, and it's almost halfway between two spoke holes, and it's visibly bubbled. I can hear and feel air coming out underneath the sticker. I don't know why there's stickers on a rim anyway. You need stickers on the rim. If I was one of those gram saving, weight saving types, I'd have that off in a flash. So, is it where the rim is joined? Or am I imagining that? Let's have a look. It all looks, tape's good at the edges and everything. Oh, this is a nightmare. Well, it's not really a nightmare, but I must have poked a hole in it again, because that's not even a joining point. That's almost exactly opposite the valve hole. So that should, in theory, be the place where the tape is. The tape is most solid, and it's definitely it's definitely all good. These tyres are so snug on here, I can't really see properly though. I don't want to go in there gung-ho with the tyre lever, because I'll just put another hole in the tape again. Soap and water. So, what are we saying from all the useful people online? Soap and water seems to be the order of the day. Get the tyre off, get to the root of that problem. Make sure. So there aren't any sharp. Well, I mean, there might. I did go over looking for sharps with a file, and none of them seem to be horribly bad. And I've got that rubber strip running around in the well over the tops of the spoke heads. I run tubes. I can't be dealing with all this ridiculousness. I'm starting to feel your vibe. Yeah. I mean, I love the concept of the tubeless tyre, I have to say, but I'm hoping and assuming that this is just teething problems. You know? We're starting a wonderful new relationship, going on a journey together, and so we've got to really get to know each other and all that nonsense. So, where was it? It's up here. Okay, so it's there. There's nothing there. What are you complaining about? Let's get a little light on the subject. Right, I'm going to have to get this tyre off again. Ho hum. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without putting a great big hole in the tape again. Because it looks fine. I can't see. So I'm intrigued. I don't even understand where it was coming out. It's coming out actually. I might peel this sticker off. See what's underneath it. Is there any reason I shouldn't peel the stickers off my rims quickly? So yeah, this is all tubeless. They're all tubeless rims, TCS. Tubeless ready. It's all yeah. So yes, these are all tubeless. Ignore you. Yeah, tape over my tyre lever. I was thinking I should tape over my tyre lever. I haven't got any plastic ones because they always break. Plastic tyre levers ain't that good. Here we go. Let me tilt you down a bit so you can see what's going on. Right. Oh, cramping my toes. So, yeah. So what I'm thinking is I might the leak was very definitely coming out underneath one of these stickers here, and there is no. I mean, that's like an amazing tape job done by a genius. Do you know what I'm going to use? Let me get some tape. That'll have to do. Some pikey old sellotape. And it will stop the worst of it, I believe. Right. So, where were we leaking? We were leaking there. It's all very, very complex, very nuanced. A lot of. See, I actually think I'm probably making more of a deal of this than I have to. I think that's better. Now we can. I don't see a way of being. Okay, right. Okay. We get under that side. That's better. Is that better? Maybe not. This is mostly annoying because I've done this 3 times now. Come on. Ow, that was my finger. Didn't need that. I've got loads more. Oh, come on. See, the thing is, though, there's no hole in there big enough for air to escape at the kind of volume that it was coming out at. So where? It must be escaping somewhere close to where it was coming out. So why would it not come out of the spoke holes? It's definitely not coming out of a spoke hole. It's definitely coming out underneath this sticker. I could feel it bubbling. Let's have a look under this sticker. This is probably one of those stickers like you have in a laptop that says warranty void if removed. I don't care about stickers. I just want to ride my bike. I'm just going to double check that no one's shouting, "Don't take the sticker off, it'll explode." Stickers off. Yes, stickers off. Air can breach the tape and exit the rim somewhere else if all the spoke nipples near the breach are well sealed. Finn McCool, you feisty person, you. I like to work at a slow and steady rate. You say heat might help, but I don't even have a hairdryer, so that's getting really bad cramp in my toes. Okay, so it's the join in the rim. It's where the rim is connected, is where it's coming out. So that could mean that it's escaping anywhere around the could be that it's escaping anywhere around the circumference, and it's just finding its way there because that's the place. So I guess I could have poked a hole in it, or it could just be maybe escaping at a seam or an edge. The edges look like they're pretty well. They're pretty well sealed. It doesn't look like well, There's no obvious hole in the tape. So it looks so neat as well. I was so confident this was going to be a winner. The tape looks like it's on actually surprisingly well, considering I did it. It's got a little wrinkle there, but that's right in the middle. That's not going to make any difference. It's not going up to the edge. Plenty of overlap at both ends. I don't know then. That's right fishy, that is. Could it have been just getting under the tape somewhere? Let me sit down lower so you can see my confused face. This is what YouTube's all about, right? Watching me being confused. So it doesn't look like the tape's lifted anywhere. The ends look like they're sitting pretty flush where it overlaps. The edges all look good. It's right up to the edge of the rims. It looks like it's properly squodged down. I mean, it all looks, as I say, it looks pretty good. I mean, maybe it just didn't seat properly. Maybe I can pump it up again and hope for the best. Is that a thing, or is that just me grasping at straws? What do we think? What do we think? Oh, tape off, start again? No. Tape off, start again. Can you move the tyre further around? So, I am 100% sure that the air is coming out. So, when it pumped up, I could feel that the sticker was bubbling under the, and if I pushed my finger on it, it stopped. I could hear it coming out. Now I've taken this sticker off, and that is absolutely 100% where this rim is joined. So if that's the case, I mean, should that matter? I can't see the join in the side. It's only across the top between the spokes. And I mean, the rim isn't airtight, is it? The spoke holes aren't airtight. It's the tape that makes it airtight, right? So if it's taped right, it shouldn't matter if that isn't. Should it? Is it? Maybe? Oh, don't say rim fail. I wonder if I can see that joint on the one that's working. Yeah, see there is. There's a visible join. I mean, it's can't feel it. Maybe there's, but there's definitely, you can see where the ends of the hoop have come together. And it doesn't look any different to this one. So, right, pump it up, get some soap and water. Oh, tape off. Oh, God. 100% sure where the air is coming from. Okay, I am 100% sure, but just because you've all chipped in, I'll get some soapy water on there. So, right, what are we doing here? Pump it up, get some soapy water on there. Should have just taken up skateboarding or something with less moving parts. Watercolour. That would be nice and easy. Poetry. Never have this much hassle trying to write a poem. There once was a young man from Reading. Can't think of any rhymes for that. Once was a young man from Reading. He didn't know where he was heading. He built up a bike that he thought he would like. And now every new session he's dreading. Hey, limerick! Who doesn't love a good limerick? Right. Not really. Come on. Right. This was not supposed to be the complicated bit of this. So now I hear nothing. Let's do the bidding of the crowd. Get some soapy water on there. 30 seconds, I'll be back. Right, I'm back. Crisis over. Everybody just calm down. I'm back. Right. So, no sign of anything happening there. Let's give it some more pressure. Dum 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 dum. Pressure. Pushing down on me. Now I can hear it. I can hear it. Wow. Stop that. It seems to be very pressure precise, because just that little bit of lost pressure seems to have stopped it coming out. So what I'm at there, I'm at about 10 psi there. Yeah, I can see bubbles. It's definitely coming out of that rim split. So that's up to, I think these tyres are rated at 30, that's just below. And now it's definitely going. Yeah, 100%. It's coming out of the definitely coming out of the rim. So does that mean the rim is faulty, or that my tape job is faulty? That's the question. Is it? So it's definitely making bubbles. Retape. Oh no. No. Going between the edge of the tire and the tape. Yeah, I hope that's right. I mean, it's going to be a pain in the ass. This will be the 4th time I've taped this rim, but I'd rather that than have to send the rim back. Okay, so everyone who's taped a rim, when you put the tape up, so in the well, like this, so here's where your tire beads in here. Does the tape go to the edge? Does it go up the edge slightly? Does it go to here? Because at the moment I've got it going into the corner, but I've read some people saying it should actually go up the wall inside the rim a little bit. What do we think? Is there a consensus here? Share the knowledge, share the love. Jazz hands. Any thoughts at all on this? Because I'm thinking I think when I used the 50mm tape on here, I think it probably went up the walls a little bit, which I can only imagine makes a better seal because the beads will pinch it in. Yeah, we think. Yeah, go up the wall a bit. HRH bucket. I'm down with that. Are there any rubber? I didn't check for little rubber blippies. Didn't check for that. That's a good shout. Okay. So that's only 9:10. It's Friday night. Let's get radical. Should have a beer. I'm going to let the tire down, take the tire off, rip off my beautifully laid tape. I'm going to retape and I'm going to go slightly up the wall of the rims. I'm going to retape. I'm assuming I've got enough. I think there was 10 meters on here, so it should be fine. I'm going to retape like no one's ever retaped before. Right. So the general consensus is definitely that up the wall is more gooder, as eloquently put by the eloquent Finn McCool. So, right, let's do this. I'm gonna poke the camera back up a bit because I'm gonna sit in my chair like an old man, and so how many people? Oh, look at that! We've got 8 people watching. 8 real people. My chippy likes the way you talk. Well, that's an interesting offer because my chippy, see, in my part of the world, chippy is a chip shop or a carpenter. So I don't know if that's a lost in translation thing. But it's always nice that someone likes the way I talk. I seem to get compliments on the way I talk on quite a lot of my videos, which is weird because here some people say I sound posh, but when I'm in London people say I sound like a farmer. So I think I have a don't know, a half and half kind of accent. Right. Ay, ay, ay. See, now I can't read the comments. People are commenting, I can't read them. I can't get this tire off either. Yeah! A chippy is a word for your girlfriend. Well, I never. So, I've got one person asking me about rim tape and another person offering for his girlfriend to expose herself to me. So both of these are great. So no, I'm not anti-brown. That's a interesting choice of phrase. And yes, I did do the other wheel with wider tape, but I don't have any wider tape left. I used it all up. The 2 other times I'd already taped this before I started again. And oh, you scumbag. Wow, these are really tight. I don't actually know how I did this last time. I didn't. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Yes. Now it's Friday night. Come on. Oh man. I should probably be drinking. This feels like the kind of thing where I should have a beer to hand. I don't have any beer. Ooh, you know what I have got though? You know what I have got? You know what I have got? A small bottle of 12-year-old Kalila single malt. Fresh, sweetly fruity and smooth-bodied. I might have a cheeky little whiskey. This is a Christmas thing that hasn't been drunk yet. I say Kalila, I think you pronounce it Kalila. Kaulila. I believe it's sweet but peaty one. I need to find a glass that isn't full of rubbing alcohol or soapy water. 2 seconds. There we go. You know it's Friday night when you're drinking 12-year-old scotch out of a mug that you got free from a recruitment agency. Do never let it be said, I don't know how to party. Oh, that sound. Love it. Nice. Nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, that smells rather pleasant. Let's have a go on that. Drink responsibly. When I run out of this, I'll start on the surgical spirit. I don't normally drink alone, but I kind of feel like I'm not alone. Cheers all. Happy Friday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the good stuff. All right. Right, what's happening? I think that Victor's given some good advice there. As in all things, when stuff goes tits up, you just got to think, one day I'm going to laugh at this. One day I'll look back. Maybe when I get my millionth subscriber on my channel, I'll do a retrospective of my career and we can all laugh. People will say, where were you when Jethro couldn't sort his rims out? And people say, oh, I was in New Jersey or I was in Budapest, and it will be great. Yeah, I'm still talking. I don't know if you noticed that. There is a sort of weird compulsion to talk just because I know there's a people watching, but it does often break down into these rather long pauses because I'm thinking. Bear walks into a bar, says, can I have a beer. And the barman says, why the big pause? Hey! It's Friday night. Awesome. Okay, what's happening here? Alone you are not, says Yoda. As someone who rides tubeless, then I'm greatly appreciating this on a Friday night sober. Someone who rides tubeless can help me out. Oh, I can't offer advice. I just get my... See, I did think about getting my local bike shop. I actually emailed my local bike shop months ago and they never got back to me. So, watching from Reykjavik, Iceland. See, Iceland is on the list, I have to say. I hear it's windy in Iceland all the time. And that is the only thing which has really put me off. I know people who've been to Iceland not cycling, and I've seen lots of their pictures, and it does look absolutely awesome. But I have heard that the wind is a thing. So I guess you just got to go round the right way, right? Put up a sail. Ah! Ooh, hang on a minute. I just got a message. Let me just reply to this. It's very rude. I hate people who do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just replying to someone saying, I'm streaming live. I'm going to say, this is exciting. I currently got viewers in Iceland, UK, Hungary, and USA. How long have I been doing this? Oh, so I've been near... crikey, okay. Sorry about that. Oh my days. See, this is where having a new bike and having stuff you've chosen and that you've is all very well and good. Sorry, I'm getting messaged. It's all very well and good having a new bike and nice stuff that you chose and spent money on, but my old bike, when I had to change tire, I just smashed the tires off, whatever. I don't care about my rims, it doesn't matter. But now I'm really worried every time I do anything. I don't want to scuff my new rims, and it's all a bit unnecessary. So there's a lot to be said actually for having a really crappy bike in some ways. You don't have to worry about it. I don't mean that, of course. I love this bike and I haven't even ridden it. Oy, oy, right, okay. There we go. De-tired. Oh, do you know what? It's toasty in here. Oh, I'm getting naked. Semi-naked. Calm down, everyone. It goes no further than this. Oh, I do like whiskey. See, look at that tape job. That's amazing. There's nothing wrong with that. I could go pro. A little bit of a crease there, but I can't see any sign of, there's no bubbling. There's no holes. I mean, that looks, I give that 8 out of 10 as a tape job, except of course for the fact that it doesn't work. So point that's rather horrible, isn't it? Yeah, run the tape up the wall. So, sorry, I've missed loads of comments here. So this is great. So I've got offer of a beer in Iceland, a drink in New York. The direction of the wind in Iceland always. See, that would. Riding in the wind. I rode up from Rotterdam along the coast of the Netherlands and up into Denmark, and some of the winds I rode no, not always, that's a lie, but when you ride into them you notice them, and my God, bring you to a stop kind of stuff. It was unbelievable, especially when you've got panniers on sticking out like sails from either side. Just one other reason why it might be good to go bikepacking rig style, get everything a bit more in line rather than those great big ears sticking out the side. Right, here we go. I'm going to rip all this tape off. Not the first time, probably not the last. Can't find the end, said the actress to the bishop. So, right. I mean, sod it, it's only tape. It's not like it costs a tenner a roll or anything. Ugh. Yeah, see, there's no way that any of the spokes have punctured, not through that rubber strip. Collecting quite a nice ball of, it's got me! Save yourselves! Right, I guess let's do another going over this with some of the booze. Get the sticky residues off. Hair is bleeding. Can't keep up with all the comments. This is amazing. So, run the tape up the side walls. Yeah, microscopic holes. That's the thing, isn't it? The tubeless tourer. I like it. Oh, yeah, Scotland, man. Who's in Scotland? Joel Weaver, are you in Scotland? Oh, man, I rate Scotland. First bike tour I ever did, I cycled from Reading up through Wales, up to Shrewsbury, then up to see some friends who live in East Kilbride, Glasgow, then up to Fort William, all along Loch Ness, up to, where did I go? I can't even remember. Then I went along the top and down to Aberdeen and cycled all through the Cairngorms and stuff. That was wicked. That was a proper nice ride. I love Scotland. I've done some trail riding up there as well. There's some really cool trail centres. Where did we go? Lagan Wolf Tracks. Wah! That was wicked. Anyway, yeah, Scotland is great. That's definitely on my list to get back to. So if you have a full frame bag, you would probably be more susceptible to side wind. This is very true. This is very true, and something I will experience soon because I do have a full frame bag. If air is bleeding out of the rim around the spoke nipples, the seal on your valves. The seal on the valve stem. Yes, see, that's maybe, yeah, okay. So it goes out round the stem because it was leaking. Yeah. Okay. Maybe so. Okay. Well, yeah, that's a possibility. I'm just, yeah. Well, what else can I do except tape it up again and see? First, you don't succeed. Tape the bloody thing again. So what's that? Most common leak in tubeless is where the rim meets the valve. Yeah. Mull. Outer Hebrides. Sky. Everyone goes on about Sky. One day I'll go to Sky. You want rubber to tape everywhere, not rubber to tape. You want... Well, all I have is this, which goes over the spokes. I mean, the tape in the... It seemed... I think it must have been round the stem. Maybe if it was going... If it gets yeah. I've only got what I've got, so I'm just going to redo it. Scotland. This isn't a cup of coffee. This is we've got someone from Scotland here. They might be able to tell me how to pronounce it. How do I pronounce this? Oh, well, not that you can speak to me, but Kaulila. It's bloody nice. Anyway, whatever it is. So anyway, chaps, I'm going to do this one more time. I'm just going to go slow and steady. I'm going to clean this rim off. And I'm going to go slow and steady with my tape. And every little thing going to be all right. And check the tire for boogers, because that is very true. See, there's a little bit of snag on these spoke heads, but I'm pretty sure they ain't going to get through that rubber strip. That's pretty thick. Should have started at the hole, said the actress to the bishop. God, the smell of rubbing alcohol is actually almost as nice as the smell of fine Scottish whiskey. Not quite, but it is nice. I like to imagine that one day I'll be really good at this. Well, maybe not, mate. Hopefully, once it's all sorted, I won't have to do it again for bloody ages. That'd be nice. But yeah, I think if I can't get this cracked tonight, I might have to ask a friendly local bike dude to have a look at it for me. The chap who built my wheels is pretty quick and knows his stuff. I like the idea of doing it myself. I like the idea of doing all the stuff. I mean, I like the idea of doing everything myself, but sometimes you just want the bloody thing to work so you can go for a bike ride. I think tomorrow is going to be quite nice. Crisp and clear and wintry. We've actually had, for the last few days, we've actually had some cold weather, which is quite unusual. This winter has been terrifyingly mild. Hashtag global warming and all that sort of stuff. Everyone believe in global warming? We got any climate change deniers in the audience? Not that I'd judge you if you are. I'm just intrigued to know who we've got on the stream tonight. Right, let's let that evaporate off for a moment. Okay, that's sorted. Put that to one side. Leave that there while it dries off. Drink some whiskey. Talk to the folks at home. So, what's everyone saying then? Oh, he's English. Oh well. So yeah, see, total knowledge of the conditions of my bike. This is what I keep telling myself, and this is what people keep saying. But is it just going to be total knowledge that my bike was put together by an idiot and could fall to pieces at any moment? That is a possibility. It'll be fine. I know what I'm doing. So what have we got here then? All this frustration will make the maiden voyage even better. That is true. I'll drink to that. Kalila is from the Isle Jura, also home to the world's third largest whirlpool. Oh, that's cool. Oh, see, that's something worth cycling to. Not that you can cycle to a whirlpool, but you could go and have a look at that. Yeah, see, Isle Jura. Ooh, yeah, I like Jura too. I love whiskey. English talking about cold weather. Storm warnings every other day since the middle of December in Iceland. Yeah, I mean, cold. What was it? There was frost on the ground when I walked to work the other morning. That was cold. But, I mean, it wasn't that cold. I didn't even wear a scarf. But it was pretty cold. It snowed once when I was a kid. Fearless leader, Donald Trump. Yeah, let's talk about Donald Trump. It's Friday night. You've got Trump, we've got Johnson. They are scarily similar in both look and opinion. Do you know what, though? I think everything's going to be all right. Climate change, Brexit, coronavirus, or whatever it's called. Yeah, we're either doomed or we're not. You know, what can you do? Whoa! There's 10 people watching this stream. Double figures. That deserves another small sip of fine whiskey. Mm. Donald T. Rump. I'm assuming that rump means the same to you as it means to me. An ass. Or an arse, as I would say. I'm assuming that means you didn't vote for him, because I do think he's an arse. I think he's a scary chap. I think a lot of the people who claim to be world leaders seem to be scary arses these days, but well, when I'm in charge, I keep expecting to receive the call, to take up my rightful place as leader of this fine island nation, and then everything will be all right. Basically, I'd make a firm but fair leader. I'd be like a stern but friendly headmaster. I wouldn't take any nonsense. But everything I did would be for your own good. So I would, I'd probably have to put a few people up against the wall, but it's all part of being a leader, isn't it? What's the point of being a leader if you can't execute a few dissidents? Hey? Execute dissidents, build cycle paths. Oh, that goes down worryingly easy. This stream might end with me just lying on the floor, and you can all just watch me for the next 18 hours while I snore and drool down my own face. Not very good at drinking. I don't do it enough. I enjoy it, but I don't put in the practice. Right, I think this is good to go. So, there's a big comment. I better see what that says. So, yes, ass. I ride tubeless because I avoid pinch flats when I can. Well, you see, it's not that I don't like inner tubes. You know what? I'm going to be entirely 100% honest about this. When I told myself I was going to get a new bike, and I started looking into frames, and I started looking into options, I knew I wanted to roll off. And I just started reading, and I blame bikepacking.com mostly. Because before I started looking into it, I was aware of tubeless as a thing, but I assumed it was a bit more of a niche kind of thing. And then as I started reading, just all the articles about bikepacking and bikepacking rigs had tubeless. And I just sort of, I don't know, I didn't even make a conscious decision to do it. At some point, I just realized it was what I was going to do. I like the idea of it. I like the concept. I rode for a long time with those tubes that have slime in it. I don't know. We call it gremlin snot over here. That sort of green ick. And the idea being that when you get a puncture, it comes out. It's sealant, and it was great. I did a whole summer of touring. That not this summer just gone. The time before that, when I went touring, I did thousands of miles without a puncture. And then when I finally took the tyre off, the inside of the tyre was just a slick of kind of green rubberized phlegm from all the things. And the tube had lost pretty much all its sealant. And of course, by then the valve was completely gummed up with years of sealant, and it was a bit of a nightmare. But so that's kind of the halfway house between tubed and tubeless, is those tubes full of sealant. And I like the idea of it. I like the idea that you get a puncture, you pull it out, and it fixes itself, So it just kind of happened, really, as things often do. And I like to try new things out. I'll get to do some videos about it. So what are we saying about this? All right, Some of my finest work has been done liquored up. Just ask my chippy. Hey, this is Friday night talk now. I like it. Cycling out to Sweden. Oh, mate, I love Sweden. Like, I really enjoyed cycling in Norway. Norway was great, but there's a lot of mountains involved. I think I averaged 1,200 meters a day in climbing. And sometimes you do twice that. Every day is a climb, but it's every road is a view that makes you want to stop and do a watercolor or write a poem or something. It is truly, truly epic. But Sweden, if you want to go somewhere where you can just kind of ride and you don't really have, like Norway, when you're on a road, you're on a road because the only way off to the left and right is with mountain climbing gear. But Sweden, because it's that little bit flatter, there's just hundreds of miles of amazing forestry trail that you can just cruise in. You can camp wherever you want. You can drink from the lakes. I love Sweden. It's great. And all the people I've met there seem, well, all the people I meet, people in general are quite friendly. And it seems like when you ride on a bike, especially a bike with bags on it, people just come and talk to you. They see that you're on a journey. They see that you're a traveler, and they just come and talk to you. They just, I don't know, it's really nice. Strangers just come up and talk to you. I've been invited to lunch by strangers. I've been offered, I've been given showers and places to sleep just by strangers who come up to me in the town square when I'm having lunch. Oh, do you need somewhere to camp for the night? Do you need somewhere to stay? Do you want to have a shower? It's great. I love it. I think cycling on your own with bags really brings that out in people. So what have we got here? Bike packers are dirty hippies. They are. Or I think, what is it they say? Bike packing is just cycle touring with more marketing money. It's true. It's just a way of spending more money on cycle touring. Shame there's no Newcastle to Norway. Yeah, man. Why is there no ferries from England anymore? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I recommend getting a plug kit. Oh, I have got a plug kit. I bought one of these. Look, this is a wolf tooth end case. So that's a chain tool in there. There's a plug kit and some bacon strips and things, and it slips into your bar tubes. See, I'm a bit of a sucker for gadgety type things. But, so I've got one of those, and I have got a spare tube as well. Right, let's do some taping. You can all watch me tape. What's going on here? How long have we been? 2 hours. Oh, dudes and dudettes. That's a long old trip. I'm going to do this wheel. I was kind of thinking I might get it finished tonight. Fat chance of that. Oh well. What can one do? Right. So this time, let's go back 2 holes. So this time I'm going right up, almost up to the edge. Let's get that in there. Okay. let's go. Yeah, see, that's nice. That's riding up the wall a good millimetre or two. I mean, just out of interest, what's everyone doing tonight? Are you all just sitting there watching this? Or are you kind of doing other stuff and like, just intrigues me because I'm just sitting here doing this, but I just wonder what everyone else is doing. So everyone got some dinner on the go, got a beer on the go. God, I don't even know what time it is. It's like, it's night time here. You're all in other countries. Anything could be happening. It's exciting knowing the rest of the world is real. Oh, this is a prize-winning tape. Oh, look at that. Goodness me. If rim taping gets into the Olympics, then I could be in the auxiliary reserve B team. This nuke-proof tape is definitely easier to apply than that WTB stuff. I don't know if that's because of the width, whether it's because it's a narrower gauge or what. At least now, when people say, "So, Jethro, have you ever taped a tubeless rim?" I can say, "Yeah, God, mate, loads of times, like 5 or 6." Practically invented tubeless rims. What do you want to know? Anything. I'll tell you anything you want. What you have to do is just get some soapy water on them. Oh no, this has all got a bit tits up. Oi, oi, oi. Uh-oh. Okay, I spoke too soon. I've lost it. Get back in there. Yes. Oh, what a recovery. Oh, maybe not. I've lost me. Yeah. Okay, so now we're getting back round to the end. We'll do a little bit of overlap and start moving over don't want that to... Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I've just got to get across to the other side without getting any wrinkles in. This is where I got a bit wrinkly last time. So let's try and... Let's see how we can really do that without getting slightly wrinkled. Okay, now we can really get in there. I guess I should probably tag this as, what is it, like slow TV, isn't it? People watch it before they go to bed and stuff. It's ASMR. When you got into ASMR, that's weird, man. Someone was telling me about it and I didn't really get it, so I googled it. Found a video that was 3 hours of some woman brushing her hair, and that was sort of kind of weird but put upable with. And then I found another one that was just an hour and a half or something of a woman whispering into a microphone. My God, it made me want me to peel my face off. I cannot stand that. It's like the sound of people eating really loudly, or I don't know, I think I'm a little bit misophonic. I can't handle people, all those weird mouth noises people make. Do you know what? I think I might know what the problem is here. I think it's my crossover point. I think it's where I go from, because I'm on narrow tape. There's a point where I have to cross over to the other side of the rim, and that gets a little wrinkle or two in it. And that might actually be where the air escapes. So I'm thinking what I could do to get around that. I might do another. I don't think I've got enough for another round. I was thinking I could do another round just in the middle to cover the join. because that's pretty good on the edges. It's pretty good on the edges. Yay. It's pretty good. That's pretty good all the way around, except there's just one little wrinkly bit there. But I think if the sealant can seal thorn holes, it can seal that. That's not even actually a hole, is it? That's just... I think that's pretty good. How far have I overlapped? Oh, I've got miles. Okay. I'm snipping it off, said the actress to the bishop. Yeah, I like that. If that doesn't seal it, nothing will, said the bishop to the actress. All right, what's happening? So, where did we get to? God, crikey, look, there's been comments happening and I've just been ignoring everybody. A terrible host. Now I've got a really big face. How do I look back at these comments? Here till 2. Whee. Finn McCool stopped on his phone, hitting their whiskey. Yeah, I think I'm pretty pleased with my whiskey rim taping. Are you going slightly to one side? Yes. So I've gone round one side up the rim and then crossed over after a bit of overlap and gone round. And it's not bad. I'm pretty... See that? You can see that? It's up the side. At least a couple of mil all the way around. So when that tyre bed's in there, it's going to be sitting. It's going to be properly pinching the edge. I think I'm good. So... here till you fall out drunk or finish the bike. Okay. A Benedict Cumberbatch lookalike taping a rim. You're not the first person to compare me to Mr. Cumberbatch. But yeah, I need to get a haircut really before I can fully claim that crown. No, I apologise. You're probably not going to learn anything about taping rims or tubeless or anything. You're not going to learn anything from these videos, apart from how probably not to do it. I don't know, maybe glean some insights from it. Be nice if somebody learned something from this, but anyway, it's nice to have you here. Yes, Sherlock Enigma dude. That's the one. And Doctor Strange. Yes. Researching microdosing. Interesting. I briefly tangentially came across someone, sort of friend of a friend, who was growing some species of magic mushrooms for microdosing as a way to deal with PTSD. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff being said about it recently. Microdosing psilocybin and LSD to treat PTSD and depression and various addictions. It's interesting stuff. Love a bit of science. I'm just microdosing whiskey tonight, but so what else is happening? Clearly better looking and smarter than Benedict Cumberbatch Yes, absolutely. Finn McCall, you have fantastic taste in YouTube idiots. Doors Super Galaxy Rider. I was intrigued. I'm not convinced. Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not convinced until I've ridden 1,000 miles on it, to be honest. But I like to try new stuff, and it's had enough good things said about it that I don't know if it counts as new. I don't know. We shall see. Keep watching this channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I'll do some videos about it. Some proper videos, not just me getting a little bit tipsy and taping stuff. I do actually do proper videos sometimes. Anyway, he's gone silent. I was concentrating. Mr. Cumberbatch, yes. Jethro Jessup impersonator. There is a video of watching paint dry. What are you saying? What are you saying? Yeah, I know. There's videos of all kinds of stuff. I reckon it's the valve seal. Okay. So, Finn McCool's girlfriend has gone to work. Oh well. Maybe next time, eh? That's an offer anyone would be foolish to turn down, so let's rain check it. Got a few bubbles. Right. It's not going to happen unless it happens. Let's do this thing, people. Oh, I need to put my valve back in. Yeah, okay. So we've got a micro doser on here. I'm intrigued by it all. I think it sounds like I've heard enough like proper clever straight scientists saying that there is something to be learned from psychedelics, that it's not just a bunch of hippies who want an excuse to get wasted, although I'm down with that as well. I love hippies, especially wasted ones. But it's probably a little bit late in the day for us to start arguing the pros and cons of various drug legalities. War on drugs. Do it for the children, man. Slippery slope. Have a glass of whiskey, and before you know it, you'll be snorting flaming heroin through a gun. Seem to have knackered my trying to put the valve stem through as gently as possible, try and keep the best edge on that tape as I can around the valve stem, just in case that is what it is. Okay, And that feels pretty tight, actually, even without the lock nut on it. Okay, check the levers for burrs. Good shout. I'm going to check the tyre for blips as well. Your way with words is poetry. That's what we like to hear. It's the kind of compliment I like. Thank you very much. Camera down, please. Yes, sorry, camera down. Looks like you're doing something inappropriate. What do you mean? Is there an O-ring seal that came with the valve stem? I don't think. Okay. So there was that little thing that I've just dropped, which has disappeared the way things do when you drop them. Small black things on a black carpet. Found it. So there's this little jobber. It's not rubber. It's like a plastic kind of ditty blippy thing. But I was assuming that was for a certain type of rim because it doesn't really fit anything on this rim. And I mean that's pretty tight in there. Like a toiger. So I'm gonna everything in shot. Well, not everything. That would be disgusting. But you know what I mean. The innuendos are as good as the archers. Wow. There's a very British reference. Strangely enough, until recently, the only other person... Oh, no, that's a lie, actually. I was going to say the only other Jethro I'd ever come across was in the Archers. When I was a boy, my dad listened to the Archers. It still does, I think, occasionally. And there used to be a character in the Archers called Jethro, who, if memory serves, was killed by a falling tree, probably sometime in the 80s. But of course, there is actually a smutty comedian also called Jethro. And I once met a dog called Jethro. I was walking by the river and I heard a woman shouting my name. I turned around all excitedly and she looked at me like I was a weirdo. And I said, sorry, I thought you were calling my name. She said, no, it's my dog. She had a big, stupid, kind of leggy, I don't know, it was a big dog, like a Great Dane type thing, all legs and slobber. Very nice. They're called Jethro. And then I recently met someone who said, oh yeah, my brother's called Jethro. So there are a few Jethros around, but not many. We're not a common breed. Right, let's tilt you down a bit. Oh, Jethro Tull, of course. Yeah, well, Jethro Tull, of course, the band, everyone knows the band, but Jethro Tull originally was an agricultural engineer. I think he invented the seed drill. And I believe he lived, or is at least buried, fairly close to here. I couldn't tell you exactly. I don't know whether that influenced my parents' choice of my name or not. it's the sort of thing I can imagine my dad being quite keen on. He's into all that sort of stuff. So I don't actually know. I think I just came out of a big book of baby names. The Beverly Hillbillies. Was there a Jethro in the Beverly Hillbillies? Excellent. I think they made a film of the Beverly Hillbillies, didn't they? That was possibly not very good. I don't know if I've ever seen the TV show, but I think I saw the film. I didn't even tweet there was a Jethro in it. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I just saw the trailer. I was going to check this for Nobbles, wasn't I? So yeah, it all feels pretty good. There's no little divots. Maybe there's maybe one there. I could nick that off. That's just a little injection widget or whatever they're called. I can use the knife I made last week on my knife making course. Look at that. It's hardly anything. I can't imagine that's going to make a difference. Don't even need a knife. They're just little. That's not going to make a difference. God, the fan on my laptop's just started going something chronic. Must be all that bandwidth I'm using with my vast audience. How many people are watching now? 8 people. 4 thumbs up. 2 turtle doves. A partridge and a pear tree. I should probably get this done. Drink my whiskey. Go to bed. Now, see, I kind of all day I've been at work and I was thinking, maybe I can get home. Maybe it'll just all work out. I'll get it finished. And I'll be able to go for a ride tomorrow morning. But as it is, it's not going to happen, is it? There's no way this is getting finished. Got so many hurdles to overcome. I still haven't really worked out how I'm going to route my cabling. I went onto the Roll-Off website to find out how you cable up the roll-off and the shifter and stuff, and they've got lots of videos and they're all in German. So I've been making notes using my extensive knowledge of the German language. But unfortunately, no one in the instructional videos ever orders a coffee or says, "My name is Jethro, I like to play table football," which I think are the only things I ever learned in German. The curse of being an English speaker is that nobody bothers to teach you any other languages. I always find it a little bit embarrassing when you go off touring and you go to other countries and you bump into people and say, "Oh wow, yeah, your English is really good," and they say, "Oh no, it's just what I learned at school," and then they ask you questions about English that you can't answer. I've been asked many questions by non-primary English speaking people about my own language that I was completely unable to answer. Someone asked me, what's the rules for using sung or sang? And I was just like, I don't know. I know how to use them, but I couldn't explain it. Sung and sang. It's nuts. These things that we think we should know, but we don't. Now, here's an interesting one. So a chap at work, a friend of mine, he is French. He is currently trying to get his English citizenship so that he doesn't have to go back to France after bloody Brexit. You have to do a test to prove that you're worthy to be English. This is one of the questions that was in the test. Check this out. See if any of you could become British citizens. How many indoor ski slopes are there in Scotland? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I imagine you're all asking the questions, what the and why the, I don't know. So I think I lose my British passport. I have not got a clue. But apparently that's something you have to know if, as a non-British national, you want to become a British national. Well, not even a British national. I don't think he's going for a passport. He just wants to stay. So yeah, how many dry ski slopes are there in Scotland? I think I guessed at 8, but I think he said there are 5. Or I guessed at 5 and he said there are 8. Either way, it's absolutely, totally irrelevant to anything. And even British people who work in the ski industry probably don't know that. But I digress. This is not a channel for discussing politics. We're all friends here. A collection of like-minded peeps on a Friday night from all over the world coming together to watch me fail to tape a rim. Doesn't it make you proud to be a citizen of the world? You all get to sit there watching me do this just in the knowledge that next to my cup of whiskey there's a cup of soapy water and a bottle of rubbing alcohol, and you're all thinking, in a minute he's going to pick up the wrong one. Are we going to be able to type fast enough to say, Jeffro, don't drink the rubbing alcohol? Too late. Okay. Oh, you know what YouTube should have? There should be a function in these live streams where you, as the viewers, can bet on things. So I'd say, right, I'm gonna give you odds on this this tire seating and holding air, and then you all get to bet, probably some kind of YouTube-based cryptocurrency, and winners can make a little bit of money, and I act as the casino, and it funds my channel, and then I get to give up work and just become a full-time cycle touring poet blogger, and you get to experience the thrill of gambling on whether my rims hold or not. My right to don't know who runs YouTube, Mr. Google or Mrs. Google. Right, here we go, people. I want you all to hold hands and chant. Open your chakras and all that sort of stuff. And let's see what happens. So, what's happening here? Oh, look, there's loads of stuff's happened since I last looked. So, positive vibes. Here in the States, we had Beverly Hillbillies. Yeah, been there. I am nothing like him. That's probably good, isn't it? Suspense is killing me. Will it seal? Will I be too sliced? I'm going to have some more whiskey. Okay. The Beverly Hillbillies song. Was it all banjos and
Yeehaw. Half drunk if I play with a knife. Yeah, that occurred to me actually. I have got some nail clippers, but I don't know where they are. So, you know. Yeah, chaps, Reading chaps. Tire rolling direction. Yeah, I'm on it. I do. I wish I have to like hold it in my head and imagine it upside down, and I have to sort of do that in my head to make sure it's going the right way. But I'm pretty sure it's on the right way. So, anyway, try speaking a language that only 330,000 people speak. You can speak at ease. Ah, yes. So Icelandic. How similar is Icelandic to like Norwegian and Swedish and Danish and stuff? Because everyone always says, "Oh, yeah, they're all the same." Them Scandi countries. But I know people who are Swedish who can pretty much speak. They can talk with Norwegians. Danish is a bit of a different thing, I think. And then everyone thinks the Finns are going to talk the same, but Finnish is a crazy language. Anyway. Indoor ski slope, I don't know. I don't know why, because it never snows in England anymore. It occasionally snows in Scotland, but I have actually... I've done some really, really good snowboarding up at Aviemore in Scotland. It was a freakishly good year. It snowed like crazy, and then the sun came out. It was very un-Scottish. It was great. Right. Okay, here we go. Right. Now let's get it. It was about 30 psi that it started leaking before. Oh, that was a pop. That's a good sign, surely. Means the pressure's going up inside, I assume. Oh, that was another pop. And no hissing yet. We're up above 20. Oh, you know what? I think this could be it. Christmas has come early. OMG, people. I hear no hissing. I'm going to get some soapy water on there. Oh, nothing. Not a bubble. Ah, we have liftoff. High five. Oh, that was a bit sad, wasn't it, actually? That was a bit pathetic. Grown man high fives YouTube audience. Shock horror. As I mentioned earlier, I do actually have some friends, like real people who I have. You've all seen Alan. You've all watched my video. Well, I say you've all watched my videos. What an arrogant thing to say. I have done other videos on YouTube. Right, okay, so this is good. This is good. We're up to 30 psi, which is what this tube is rated. This tyre is rated at, and it is quite happily holding it, and that's with no sealant in. So, goodness gracious me, I think we have a taped rim. Thank you very much for all your help, people. It's I don't need to let this down, do I? I was going to put my valve cord back in. I could have just done it. Oh well, done now. Yeah, no, thank you for the help. It's nice having everyone here to chat nonsense with, and to get advice from, and all that kind of stuff. Because I genuinely don't have a clue what I'm doing, and so it's very beneficial to me to have all of you cheering me on and telling me how nice my voice sounds. Flattery will get you everywhere. And one day I will cycle to all the various countries where you live, and we can have a beer. That'd be awesome. That would make a good video, wouldn't it? I could get a list of people who've offered to buy me a beer whilst doing live streams, and cycle between them all. One day, once I'm discovered, and this channel starts generating vast streams of revenue, sponsorship from all over the place, fat checks from Maxxis Tires and Surly and whoever makes this sellotape and the Kalila Distillery. Oh, Kalila Distillery, that's a very pleasant phrase to say. All those people will pay me a fortune, and I'll cycle around going and meeting up with people who I talk nonsense at on the internet. Okay, so this is happening. Stuff's happening now. What can we do next? What are we on? Nearly 3 hours. My God, I can't believe you're all still here. There's 11 people watching this. So what's happening? 2 hours later. Ah, yes. Hang on. This is an answer to an actual question I just asked. Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian is somewhat similar written down. Finnish is something else entirely. Faroese. Faroe Islands, of course. Huh. Yeah, it's great. I'm intrigued by languages. I don't speak anything. I started learning the very minimals of Swedish, but it never really went anywhere. So let's see. Yeah, good signs with the pops. It's all happening. It's all happening, people. Done. You're practically an influencer. Well, stranger things have happened. I mean, God, if the Kardashians can do it, why can't I? I probably look better in a bikini. Oh, I just pictured that. Ugh, that ruined my whiskey. Oh, jeez. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm particularly influencer material, but I am definitely millionaire YouTuber material. That'd be great. Just need would you need about 2 million views a month to make a living, I reckon. I think I'm on about half a dozen so far. But it's all good. It's good fun, isn't it? It's good fun. I might put my disc rotor on. Why not? I feel like I'm on a roll now. I wonder if I can. Okay, so who's got a roll off, right? This is the axle plate. This is the torque tensioning bit. So there's a bolt that goes through the frame and goes into there. This comes off, right? I just take this off so I can because this is at a funky angle. And also, the mechanism where the cabling goes in, do you have it at the top or at the bottom? Because I've seen both. I've seen it mounted sort of pointing upwards and hanging down like a derailleur. What do we think? I have to make these decisions, and I have to make them soon. I would be tempted to leave it with the pressure in. Okay, yeah, good shout. Good shout. My life has changed watching you. That's lovely. It's kind of odd, but it's lovely. Thank you very much. My life has changed with all of you watching me, so that's nice. So when's the next video stream? Well, do you know what? I was going to go out. The idea was I was going to go out for a ride on this bike tomorrow. I think that was naive. So I haven't got any plans for tomorrow, for Saturday. So I'll probably do some during the day, I think. I might go out. I've got another bike. I might go out for a little blast in the morning if the weather's nice, but I'll probably back up tomorrow at some point. Be prepared to lose some air over the first few days while the sealant is covering the inside. As soon as that is done. Okay, yeah, no, I've heard that. If I win the lottery that I rarely ever play, you'll be funded. See, I keep saying that as well. I keep saying, when I win the lottery, and I never play the lottery. Although, I have played the lottery since, not every time, but I have played the lottery in the past. And last month, I won £30. And I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've ever won anything on the lottery. So I'm not even close to breaking even, which sucks. Your eyes have dilated somewhat. Oh, Dr. Weaver there. What does that mean? I haven't been microdosing. I've drunk too much to be microdosing. I haven't drunk that much. I've drunk... What's this? This is 20 centilitres. So I've done about, I don't know, 10 centilitres, whatever that is. 100 millilitres? I don't know, a few shots, not a lot. I'm just a bit of a lightweight. I'm proud to say that I wouldn't know a Kardashian if I bumped into one. Now, do you know what? I don't think I would either. I just know the name. I doubt I'd bump into one. I don't think they sort of go to the same pubs as me, really, very much. Do you know what? Yeah, I probably wouldn't know one. There's loads of them, isn't there? Half a dozen of them or something. Oh, well, I don't really care. Mount it in the fashion which best suits the cable routing, said the actress to the bishop. Yeah, see, I need to think about cable routing. I need to think about how I'm going to do it at the front end as well, because I bought I'll show you what I bought, in fact. Because as I said, I got seduced by the whole bike packing thing. So I found this on eBay. I mean, it's new, but it was quite cheap. This is a Revelate Designs sweet roll bar roll. So I've got to work out how to do the cabling on the front with a bar roll. And some people do their cabling around the outside of the bar roll so it doesn't get squashed, which sounds like a massive pain in the ass because it has to go around the outside of the bar roll. Some people just say, just keep it loose and squidge it behind the bar roll, which is what I'm inclined to try because it sounds like less hassle. So I don't know, there's some thinking to be done. I've got some cool yellow bar tape. So I've got grips to go on the handlebars, and then I'm going to yellow tape the horns at the front on the Molokos. So I've got an entirely black bike with yellow brake cables and yellow bar tape. I will probably have to call it the Hornet. Well, see, that's the thing. Does anyone name their bikes? Alan, who I've done videos with, he named his bikes. His bikes have been called the Cream Steed and the Fluid Druid. And it's hard to top the Fluid Druid. So I've been trying to think of names. Not that I'll ever use it, but The roll-off. What is the gear range? What is the equivalent cassette? Oh, now you're talking about technical bike stuff. I don't know. It's 14 gears. When I bought it and when I was choosing the sprocket to chainring tooth ratio, I did look on some calculators and I tried to work out that and crank lengths and wheel sizes to get it as close to what I currently have on my 9x3 setup at the moment, because it's what I know. I believe it doesn't go quite as far in either direction, but it's not far off. But I think the thing people like about it is that it's an exactly even split between the gears. There's no kind of overlaps and big jumps and short jumps. So beyond that, I can't get very technical, I'm afraid. As I said, I love cycling. I'm just not that interested in bikes or the tech of it. I forget. I learned it all when I was buying the stuff. And then these things arrive in the post and I look at them and it's like someone else ordered them. So I just assume they're going to be fine because I must have made a decision at some point. So yeah, I can't be too helpful with that, I'm afraid. If you have any experience with grip shift, you can swap the cables to make this. So I've got a grip shifter. I've never used one before, but there we go. The lottery is a tax on people that do not know maths. What do you mean don't know maths? Surely the 1 in 40 million chance of winning? That's good odds, isn't it? In the English lottery, they doubled the price of a ticket. They added 10 extra balls and they didn't tell anyone. They just did it and no one noticed. So the odds went from 1 in 14 million to about 1 in 48 million or something. You're absolutely right. It is a tax on the stupid, but you know, I'm stupid. It would just be nice to be a millionaire, wouldn't it? Roll-offs are backwards to others so that you twist it like a... Okay, that's interesting. Twist shift goes backwards. I guess I just have to get used to it. My brother says that the lottery is for people who don't know maths. I play when it's over $3 million, and I told him if I win, he gets shite. Don't name your bike. Roll-off is a 526 gear range with 14 even split gears. That's the one. That's what I was going to say, but I didn't. Could you make a cradle on the front of your handlebars so that the bag rests on that instead of being strapped to the handlebars? So it does have spacers, so it sits out from the bars a little bit. And lots of people do say it's fine to run the cables. Most people say it's fine to run the cables behind them. So I don't know. That's what I'm going to try anyway. $300 million. $300 million. That would be nice. To be honest, I would take any of it. But yeah, it's nonsense. It's a mug's game. But yeah, it's a couple of quid here and there. Somebody's got to win it. Somebody hasn't got to win it. That's the whole point of randomness, isn't it? I'm not greedy. I don't want to be a millionaire. Well, I do want to be a millionaire, but I'm not bothered if I'm not. I just want to have enough money to have a nice bike. Ideally, to not have to go to work anymore and just to cycle around Europe, eating seafood and sampling local cheese, chatting to farmers. I don't know. I definitely I've forgotten what I was doing. I was doing my rim, wasn't I? Rim rotor. Yeah, I definitely think that I'd make a good professional tourer. I go to London to work every day, and I'm really not a big fan, I have to say. I'm going to have to take that off, aren't I? Yeah, I'll take that off. You know, I don't mind. I don't mind working, but I think, is anyone here religious? Does anyone believe in God? Am I going to offend anyone if I start talking about God? I don't believe in God. I'm a total atheist. And it seems to me that if you're an atheist, it almost makes life more valuable. This is it. This is my life. This is all the years I have. And it seems unfair that I have to go to work, quite frankly. And I know it's not unfair. I'm not saying I'm special or I deserve anything different to anyone else. But it just seems like we live in a world of amazing technological amazement. And all we're trying to do is get everyone as rich as possible. When actually, what we should really be doing is trying to make a society where everyone can live as we do now, but people work as little as possible. Yeah, that seems like something to aim for to me. Because you only get one crack at this, you know. You only get one shot. And then you're done. And all I want to do is go cycling. I just want to go and travel about and meet people and see stuff. And it will annoy me if on my deathbed I'm just lying there going, I never cycled to Portugal. And I could never put my torque bloody wrenches somewhere I could find them. Do you know what I mean? I think it seems weird that people haven't worked out that we could all just, if everyone just wasn't so bothered about being so rich all the time, if more people were just happy to have enough, just have enough. And I know that's ridiculous. I say that I just want to have enough, but actually what I consider to be just enough puts me in probably the top 10% of wealth in the world. So I know I'm a ridiculously privileged middle-class white male, and I have absolutely no right at all to be going on about any of that stuff. But the reality of it remains. I don't want to go to work anymore. I just want to go and cycle around Europe. I've never made it to the far north of Scandinavia. I always wanted to. I've met lots of people, and everyone in Norway goes to Nordkapp, which is the most northerly point of Norway. But I thought what would be far more interesting than Nordkapp would be the Tri-Point, which is where Norway, Sweden, and Finland all meet. And there's a stone or some sort of monument. It's in a lake, I think. And I always thought that would be a really cool place to head for, but I've never made it up there. Twice now I've been to Sweden and Norway, and both times I've just not made it that far north. And actually, after last summer's experience with the insects in Sweden in the summer, which apparently only gets worse as you go north. I mean, I've camped in Scotland, and they have midges on a major scale, but I have never seen anything like the Swedish forests at sundown in mosquitoes. They have 3 types of biting insects. They have, let me see if I can get this right. They have mygga, which is what I would call a mosquito, the big leggy ones that can bite you through your socks. They have knots, which is what I would call a midge, the tiny little ones that get in your ears and up your nose and everywhere. And then they have these other things that are like little black flies that feel like they actually take a chunk of flesh out when they bite you. And a certain time of day, just coming towards sort of when the sun's going down, these things come up out of the grass and they drift through the forest. It's like smoke. It's unbelievable. And they come out of nowhere. And I remember the first time I encountered it, I pitched my tent, just like fighting off these beasts. Got in my tent, and then of course you're in your tent. I need to go for a pee. I can't go to bed like this. I haven't had a pee for hours. So you open the tent, and they come in like something from a horror movie. And so every time you want to go out of the tent, go for a pee or cook something or anything, you have to think, I was lying in my tent with a sock, just killing and killing and killing and killing. Billions of them. In the morning, the floor of my tent looked like someone had just come in with a pepper shaker full of dead midges. Yeah, it was unbelievable. And apparently it does just get worse as you go further north. Although apparently also as you get further north, you get less ticks, which is the other thing they have a lot of in southern Sweden and southern Norway. You get a lot of ticks. I went to stay with some friends of mine who live on the south coast of Norway, about as far south as you can get, down near Kristiansand. And they have 2 Maine Coon cats, those massive hairy cats, and they just get ticks and ticks and ticks and ticks like you wouldn't believe. And I was sleeping in the spare room, which was down in the basement, right next to where the cat feeding station is. And I went down there. We'd been sitting up and we'd had a few beers and it was time to go to bed. I went down in the dark. I walked past the cat feeding station and I trod on something and it went, and I thought, oh, maybe that was a piece of cat food. Maybe that was a slightly moistened cat biscuit that I just trod on. Or maybe someone dropped a grape or something. But in my head, I knew exactly what had happened. And I turned the lights on and I went back and I looked and there was a brown splat. And it was that big on the floor. And in the middle of it, it looked like someone had skinned a grape. And my head, after a few beers, oh, maybe it was a grape. Maybe someone dropped a grape there. But then I got closer and I could see its little legs going. And it had been a massive full tick. It must have fallen off the cats while they were feeding and had just been sitting there in the middle of the floor. And I trod on it. I mean, it put enough pussy, tick, blood, guts into my sock that I had to wash my socks. I had to wash blood out of my socks. It was rank. And then, of course, once you've done that, you get into bed and you just lie in bed all night. You can't sleep because there's massive blood-sucking monsters living in the house. Oh, it was foul. But I pulled a few off me that year, including one that I pulled off part of my body that no man should ever have to pull a tick off. That was not fun. That made me feel a bit queasy, but all fun and games, eh? Okay, this rotor has no markings. How do I know which is the front and which is the back? Or if it has no markings, does that mean there isn't a front and a back? Front to back in this thing called rap? Diggy diggy like a samurai. Okay, what's happening here? A mug's gay. We're on the lottery still, and you're holding a mug. Yes! Don't mess with the lottery until it's 300 million. Good shout. Pinion 18 with a roll-off. Okay. Work was created by the same types that invented religion to get the masses to behave. Yeah, I mean, work's all right, money and that, but time is what it's all about. None of us have that much time in the grand scheme of things, you know. When we're talking in geological terms, blink of an eye. Not wanting to get too depressing, but anyway. The right tires, you could ride up a wall. Having enough, wanting too much and getting to at least to others starving. Damn right, man. I was talking about this just today with someone at work. The whole concept of, like, I'm not like a weird communist hippie or anything. I think capitalism is genetic. I think it's built into us as animals. But I also think that it's physics that says you cannot grow infinitely in a finite box. So we need to seriously examine our lifestyles, not to save the planet, just so I can go on more bike rides. Basically, everyone else needs to examine their lifestyles. I need to be given loads of money and time so I can just, go off on holiday. That's where the wind. The wind blows the flies. So there's no flies in Iceland. There are no cats in America. What's that from? Coming to America. The little mouse, right? There are no cats in America, and the streets are paved with cheese. Don't think I dreamt that. Yeah, mosquitoes, gnats, sand flea. Oh, I'll tell you what else though. In Sweden, they have, and I think in Norway, they have elgflugs, which are elk flies, and they look like a little flying tick. And they fly, and then when they land on something they like, they bite their own wings off and get into the fur of an elk, usually, and they bite in like ticks. And if they bite you, the bite stays like a little sore lump, apparently in some people for up to a year. I got bitten by one, and I had a little hard lump on my finger for a good sort of 6 or 8 weeks afterwards. Little buggers. Anyway. I was thinking of it. Best advice for me. I don't know. I just hid from them. I mean, I bought some midge repellent before I went away, and I got this because previously I'd always used DEET, which is effective, but it's also quite poisonous and not very good stuff. And then more recently, I bought some midge repellent that was based around another chemical invented by the same company who make DEET. I don't know which one of the big chemical people it was, but the guy in the shop said that they only recommend DEET now to people who are going to malaria zones, and that everyone else they recommend it begins with an S. Can't remember, but it was very good, and it did keep the little buggers away. But beyond that, I just hid. As soon as it was, if I was in a place because they're not everywhere. You find a nice spot by a lake where there's a bit of a breeze and you won't get them so bad. It's when I was wild camping in the forest that they would really come out. As soon as the sun gets low in the sky, they just rise up out of the moss and the lichen, and just get in everyone's face. But they weren't constant. It was a few nights that was really bad when I was in the forest. I wouldn't let it put me off going back to Sweden, kind of thing. I think you've just got to hide, though. I mean, get a head net, I guess. If you want to be out in it, you just have to have clothes and a head net. But the big mosquitoes, the big mugger, they will bite through your trousers and through your socks, and they're proper little bastards. Do you use a tick remover? I've got some little tick tweezers which I have used, but when you just are randomly having a shower and you find a tick attached to the crown jewels, you don't go searching for tick tweezers. You just go, ah, tick, smash, gone. Unfortunately, it was only a little one. It wasn't a big grape. So, yeah, I know. But I know people say, oh, you've got to pull them out properly or their head's staying. I think if it's a big one, that's true because they leave their mouth. But these were little nymphs, so it was like the size of a lentil. So I just whop them off. And if it looks like they're still alive, I horribly torture them to death. I'm a kind and loving hippie. I'm practically a vegetarian, but I would never wish cruelty or pain on any animal. But when it comes to ticks and mosquitoes, I become a weird kind of murderous. I actually found myself kind of enjoying it when I whacked for a mosquito and got a glancing blow, and you'd see it on the floor, kind of all broken and twitching, and you just think, good. I hope your brothers and sisters are watching and suffering. I hate them. They just freak me out. It's a very bad thing to say on YouTube. I'll probably get, I don't know, attacked by vegans or something. Anyway, so there are flies in Iceland. Yeah, there's flies everywhere, man. Bugs. They're going to take over once we're all gone. Yeah, I'm not actually doing anything with this, am I? I'm just holding it. This is good, though. I'm learning about Iceland. Iceland is one of the places I would like to go and strike a match, blow it out, and put it on the tick while it's still hot. Oh, yeah. That's... I've heard the Vaseline thing. Yeah, ticks. Thing is, I think they say about 30% of them now in Europe carry Lyme's disease. So I know 3 people who've had Lyme's who fortunately have caught it early and managed to get antibiotics for it. So yeah, it's out there. It's out there. Yes. Okay. Joel Weaver, Avon Skin So Soft. Yes. This was the thing. When I went to Scotland, I was up in Scotland, first time I ever went touring, and I was out with my mates who live in Glasgow. And they were like, yeah, Avon Skin So Soft. And they sell it in all the shops and everything. But I heard, have they not changed the formula? And it doesn't work anymore. This is what I heard. I haven't been up there for years. But I heard a rumour that Avon had changed the formula of Skin So Soft and it was no longer the midge repellent it used to be, which is a great pity. But I used to lock criminals and petty thieves here in Scotland to posts overnight and it would send them mad. Oh, yeah. I can't. So here's a story. I was in Sweden. Oh, no. So back to the thing. How do I tell if this is backwards or forwards? Does it matter? It's got no markings at all. No logos, no measurements, no nothing. So anyway, I was in Sweden and I was cycling. First night I came across these ridiculous midges, and it was like clouds of mist or rain through the forest, and it was horrible. And the second night was the same, and then the third night I thought, okay, I'm going to go to a campsite. I found a nice little campsite by a lake, nice breeze blowing through, no undergrowth, all nicely mown grass, and I just thought, okay, I'm going to pay for a night in a campsite just to get away from the little midges. So I went into this campsite and it was great. It was run by a couple of German guys who were awesome. They were great. They gave me a beer and stuff and we were chatting. And there was another chap there who was also German. He looked like a Viking, but he was German. And it turned out that he was a Viking. He followed a Viking religion. He lived in a Viking kind of commune somewhere. And he had been sent to Sweden by his Viking guru to spend 30 days in the wilderness, unsupported. He had a backpack, a cooking pot. I think he had some fishing gear and a knife. and maybe some stuff for making fire and a sleeping bag, but he didn't have a tent or anything. And he said the first night he'd lain down to sleep, just laying down in the forest, and the midges were so bad he had to soak a towel in water and put it over his head to stop them eating him. And then he said the second night, he said he didn't speak much English, but he said the second night I stood in the forest, and I'm not afraid to say it, I cried. He cried, covered in midges, and then he went and slept in a toilet by the road, like a public toilet. And then the third night, he'd come to this campsite and booked a cabin. And this is where I met him. He was saying, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to spend 30 days in the forest. And yeah, he was absolutely nuts. He was great. He was a really cool dude, but he was absolutely nuts. And he was saying, so this goes back to the microdosing thing. I said, so you're living in the forest and you've got no supplies. You're just foraging. So you must know loads of stuff about fungus and hunting and trapping and things, which I'm quite interested in, but don't know much about. And he said, no, I don't know much at all. I know about 3 different mushrooms I can eat. And I said, so what do you do if you find yourself going hungry? And he said, the secret is if you find yourself in the forest and you're going hungry, you find the big red mushrooms with the white spots and you just eat a quarter. He said, you go to bed hungry, but you wake up feeling like a god. And I was that's fly agaric, the red and white spotted mushrooms, which are known to be somewhat hallucinogenic and have shamanistic properties, but also I'm pretty sure unless you prepare them properly, they dissolve your kidneys or something unpleasant. They're pretty poisonous. So I mean, I chatted to him for the evening, and then the next morning I set off again. As far as I know, he perished in the Swedish forest. I don't know, but he was a cool dude. His name is Agli. Marine Corps. So Finn McCool knows his stuff then. Skin So Soft. So Skin So Soft is a thing. It's genuinely a thing around the world. Excellent. Yeah, see, okay, so the rotor thing, I've always wondered about this too. The ones that have logos and stuff, it always very explicitly says logos out. And I've always wondered what the difference was. I mean, structurally, there's got to be some difference with the way these are pointing, if they're pointing backwards or forwards. But so the one on the back, let's just copy that. So that's pointing. Okay, let's just do it the same as that. That makes sense, doesn't it? So we're going to go around this way. You can bet. Yes, which plants to keep the bugs away. See, I'm down with this. It's one of the things I would like to really learn more about is foraging and kind of herbs and all that stuff. You know, not in a sort of weird hippie way, but I'd love to know more about foraging mushrooms and things. I know a few, like I can forage a chanterelle and a giant puffball and parasol mushrooms I'm fairly confident with. But I'd love to be able to go out into the forest and be kind of semi-sure that I could find something to eat. I've lost my rotor bolts. Oh, it's such a mess. I'm such a messy person. And I never learn. Hey! It doesn't matter. I've got rotor bolts. And Haribo. I buy loads of stuff from Chain Reaction. Every time Chain Reaction send out an order, they put a thing of Haribo in there. Anyway. But yes, I think it would be really, really cool to know a bit about Oh, okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Those are not standard size rotor bolts. Pants. There's my roll-off box. See, I ordered some rotor bolts thinking that I needed them. But then it said on my receipt that they had sent me some. I have a horrible feeling I've taken them out and put them somewhere. And now I don't know where. They're not in there. That's definitely for sure. What are they? Okay, so it would seem I am missing. Oh, it just never ends. Just never bloody ends, does it? Yeah, that's definitely not going to go in. Yeah, foraging, isn't it? Be very, very cool. Maybe is that one? Look at that. It's some kind of weird special roll-off bolt. That's definitely the one. Yes, it's another thing I would do. If I had more time in my life, I would go and learn to do some really good foraging courses. Learn a bit about fungus. I'd love to do a foraging on the seashore course, like seaweed, and because you can pretty much eat anything you find on the beach. Seaweed and much shellfish and stuff. That'd be fun. And I'd really like to learn how to make fire by rubbing sticks together. So kind of. Okay, why is there only 3 of? Oh no. Yeah, there's a place down on the south coast here in the UK, which I've actually cycled down there before. It's about 3 days, leisurely 3 days cycle from here down to the south coast, and they do a friction fire lighting course, and that sounds super cool because to be able to light fires would be that's a very pleasing skill to have. I've done stuff. I've got a little fire steel. The first time I lit a fire with my fire steel when I was in Denmark, I had a smile on my face, I'll tell you. That was okay, not that one. So yeah, to be able to do the whole fire spindle thing would be excellent. I've tried it, and me and my brother tried it for a bit, and we managed to make smoke. We definitely made scorched wood and smoke, but we never quite got fire. And I think we chose the wrong wood because it went, and we just did it until everyone else who was there told us to shut them up because we were deeply annoying. Okay, that's all good. And I know almost without looking at the comments, I reckon there's better odds than the lottery that Finn McCool is saying, "Where's your torque wrench? Where's your torque wrench?" And the answer, is he saying it? I haven't got one. Basically, is the spokes point towards the wind. That's incredibly poetic. I like that. I'm sure the vast majority of people can't even bought a few bottles. Stocked up on Skin So Soft. Good shout. Yeah, head net, definitely a head net. I mean, I got bitten. I tried to sleep in Norway. I was on the Norwegian Swedish border, and I tried to sleep in a shelter. It was a fishing shelter. It wasn't really a sleeping shelter, and I had my head net on, and I had to give up in the night and pitch a tent on the stones because they were biting me through my head net. Like they're anywhere where I had to wear my hat underneath to try and keep it off my face. And anywhere they could find, they'd land on it and wait till it touched your skin, then get their little horrible proboscis through the holes and bite you through the holes. So, to be fair, my head net cost £2 off eBay, so it's hardly a quality piece of kit. But still, yeah, I hate putting slimy shit on me as well. I hate sun cream. I hate insect repellent, all of that stuff. But it's bog myrtle. I don't know that one. I'll have to Google that. Even with a head net, they find a way up your bum crack. Hey, they do, and in your ears and up your nose, and they're awful little buggers. Oh yeah, there we go. Finn McCall. Where is that torque wrench? I haven't got one. I mentioned this to my stepdad. He's got a really nice snap-on torque wrench proper, but it's a bit big for a bike, I think. So one day I'll get one. For now, I'm just nipping tight. Will you be able to? Ooh, Nick, hi. When you have put that bike together, will you be able to get it out of that room? Or are you going to have to just ride it around the room? I'm not going to pretend that I hadn't thought of that. No, I'm pretty sure I will be able to get it out. I'm pretty sure I will. I would have built it outside, but it's cold at the moment. I've got nowhere shelter to do it. It would be outside, and doing this with cold fingers is no fun at all. I knew it would take loads longer than I thought. And I kind of had it in my head that I wanted to do this streaming thing as well, just partly because I thought it would be interesting, and partly because I've got this channel and, people subscribe to this channel, and then I don't upload anything for months. I just thought I'd let everyone know that I'm still alive and use it as a way of saying that I will be doing some more proper videos soon. I'll do some more ride videos and some more gear reviews and stuff, and I'm hopefully going to go and do some touring in Wales, maybe in the spring. I'd love to do the Great North Trail that goes up from sort of the Midlands all the way up to Cape Wrath at the top of Scotland. That would be wicked, but I don't know if I'm going to have time this year. I've got to earn some money and, do all that boring stuff. So, I would love to see Jethro drunkenly unicycling about the room. I used to have a unicycle. I don't know what happened to it. I used to have one. I used to be quite into circus stuff. When I was at school, we had a circus club. A chap used to come in and he taught like juggling and all that stuff. It was good. I think I can still juggle a bit. The snap-on stuff is out here. It's not common, I don't think, but my stepdad's into vintage motorbikes. He restores British bikes, so he's got a lot of nice tools in a very tidy workshop. Preset torque wrench for installing valve cores. What? On bicycles? Really? That's nuts. I mean, yeah, torque wrenches. I will get one day, but I just kind of think I'll just do everything up finger tight, and then I'll ride it, and then I'll check everything, and I'll tighten it if it's rattled loose for now. just because I want to ride this thing. Really, that's about it. Finn McCall, I have a Norton and a Triumph. No way. Well, he's had both Nortons and Triumphs. He's into Rudges. He's got some Rudges. That's what he's on at the moment. And a couple of old Ducatis as well. I know they're not British, but wow. Oh, that's cool. I'll tell him one of my viewers has got a Norton and a Triumph. He'll be well chuffed with that. Yeah, he'll be very pleased. He might even be watching. You never know. Just quietly watching the world go by. What are the specifics of your Norton and Triumph? Just so I'll tell him. He'll be because he'll ask me. I'll say, "Oh yeah, chap on the stream last night's got a Norton and a Triumph," and he'll say, "Oh, what year, what models?" And I'll say, "I don't know, Norton and a Triumph." If it doesn't have pedals, I don't know anything about it. Right, let's put some pressure in this tyre, as suggested by the wisdom of the crowd. Repaired a couple of Vincents, yeah. Oh, you'd probably get on with my stepdad, I think. He's always tinkering with his old bikes. He loves it. Okay. Yes, I'm holding some pressure. Oh, I love the sound of silence. Silence of a new tyre. Ah, smell the rubber. Ugh. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, these take a surprising amount of air to get up to top pressure. Oh, that's good, I think. Yeah, I've got high hopes for these tyres. Apparently they're good. They're good on all surfaces, which is nice. So they'll do me for the rough stuff and the smoother stuff, which is cool. Look at that. That's sort of like nearly a bicycle now. Cool. Okay, well, as I'm not going to get this finished tonight, and I've been doing this for, over 3.5 hours. Oh my days, that's awful. I mean, sorry everybody, but seriously. Okay, Finn McCool. Right, I'll definitely tell him about that. He'll be interested in that. So yeah, for now, I'm going to call this a day. I will probably have another crack at this tomorrow, sort of, I don't know, late morning time. Depends. If the weather's nice, I might go out for a ride, or I might just get on it because I'd love to get this finished. and it sort of feels like it's close now. Like, yeah. So at some point tomorrow during the day, I'll probably be back on this for another mammoth session and see if I can get this finished. So, yeah, as always, thank you very much, everyone, for your company and your advice and all that sort of stuff. Chin chin, cheers, happy Friday. Hope all your weekends are splendid. And yeah, if you're about tomorrow and you fancy watching me trying to mount everything up, then yeah, that'll be the plan for the day. Yeah, okay, so yeah, time zones are happening, aren't they? I don't understand about time stones. I've had 3 shots of whiskey. I shouldn't be allowed to drink, probably. But yeah, come back tomorrow and we'll do it all again if you fancy. If not, have a lovely weekend, and I will probably try and do. I'll maybe try and do a review of the bike soon, or I don't know, of something. I'll do some ride videos anyway. So if you're not already subscribed, I assume most of you are probably subscribed to the channel, then subscribe. Help me become a YouTube influencer and spend my days cycling around countries avoiding blood-sucking insects and all that nonsense. So anyway, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you all on the other side. Bye for now.